Hello everyone, and welcome back. On today's analysis, we are going now for the latest episode. We are going to discuss about Olson, the main antagonist of the 2019 video game Man of Medan, the first installment in the Dark Pictures Anthology franchise. A French Polynesian pirate and fisherman who robs boats alongside his brother and best friend in order to survive. Olson, in my personal opinion, I think he is perhaps the most mundane antagonist the franchise has to offer so far, as there are plenty of people like him all around the world, and he's not necessarily that world-altering or something shaking like the other antagonists. And in this episode, we're going to discuss all you know about him throughout the video game, to understand Olson and how and why he robbed the protagonists. And now, let's begin. Now, much about Olson's past is largely unknown. All you know about him is the fact that he is French Polynesian, his left eye is ultimately missing, and he is ultimately both a fisherman and a pirate who robs boats in order to survive, alongside his younger brother Junior and his best friend and partner in crime, Danny. And it's implied throughout his career that he might have killed some people, and hence why he eventually admits that he detests killing and actually avoids killing the protagonist, well, as much as he can. And now, by June 20th, 2019, he has come to rob the boat known as the Duke of Milano, on which the protagonists, specifically four college students, Alex, Brad, Julia, and Conrad, as well as their captain, flees rented a boat and for their summer vacation. And Olsen and his brother and friend who simply robbed them. But things changed when they found out about the coordinates to the lost ship of the USS Medan, the legendary lost American ship that has been lost on the seas for the last 70 years. And he found out about the Manchurian gold, which he himself did believe to be real gold, when in reality was a chemical weapon developed by the Republic of China in World War II. And so, Olsen took the protagonist hostage and brought them on the ship and tried to search for the gold all around the ship. But unfortunately, the chemicals, the hallucinations, and even the corpses they encountered in the process, all of this made their mission more and more volatile. And as the time went on, Olsen has begun to slowly and surely to lose it himself, as he grew more and more murderous, more and more aggressive, and honestly much more dangerous, to the point that he in fact did come to want to kill the protagonists. And now before we continue, we need to now to stop and ask ourselves, is Olsen evil? And I put this question because, while yes, he is a pirate, he robs and kills, it should be noted here that this man is not an unredeemable monster. He does care for his best friend Danny, and when he killed him to do mistaking him for a protagonist, he openly did cry for a brief period of time at his body. And he does love and care for his brother Junior. And honestly, I think he will break even further when he found out that Junior killed himself due to the hallucinations. As well as the fact that Olsen genuinely did not want to kill the protagonist, and he only wanted to do so at the end after he was driven mad by the hallucinations and the chemical weapons. And thus, Olsen, despite everything, he's still pretty much a very dangerous, angry, demanding person and quite aggressive, to the point that he believes himself to be the one and true captain and demands total obedience from others. And in my opinion, the answer is obviously yes. He is evil, but honestly, he's mostly a low kind of evil. And at the end of the day, Olsen's fate here depends on the player's choice, as he can be killed by being literally split in two by the cargo door of the ship by the protagonist, or he can be killed through electrocution, or he kills the protagonist himself, or he eventually passes away to do a heart attack. So in the end, depending on the ending, who was or who is Olsen? He's nothing more but a simple man who just tries to make a life of himself, of robbing and stealing and even hurting and killing others. A man that ultimately walked the path of crime in order to provide for himself and for those he cares about. And a man that could easily be called, as in my opinion, as one of the most realistic and most mundane antagonists into the video game industry. Thanks for watching. Forget to leave a like and subscribe and have a nice day.
Ah! The smug Americans have smashed their way into a foreign land and come up short. The generators are on. The gold is mine, and now I'm the one who gets to smash. Me! With my big fucking hammer!